Welcome to the Skill Locked profile, where every Skyblock year I spin a wheel and can only level one of the 5 major Skyblock skills, with the eventual goal of maxing all 5 of them. Last time we rolled farming, maxed out the skill, and increased our cash stockpile to 700 million coins. The 10th Skyblock year begins shortly, with this episode showcasing immense progress and the craziest ending wheel spin of the profile so far. But before we get started, we need to spin the wheel that decides our fate. Please, please, no! My goal for this week is to max out fishing, but if we want any chance of this, we need to solve a problem. The red sand problem. Currently, I cannot reasonably fish in the Crimson Isle due to the fear of earning red sand, which is a fishing treasure drop in the Crimson Isle. The reason why this is problematic is due to the red sand collection. Once you get to tier 6 in the red sand collection, you unlock 10,000 mining XP, which would completely break my challenge and give me the mining XP that I am not entitled to earn. The only way to avoid getting red sand or any other treasure drops would be to increase my sea creature chance stat to 100. I was at 92 at this point, and I could use bait to get 6 more, but I needed that last little bit to be safe. To fix this problem, I started the year by selling over 100 million coins in mushroom blocks from the prior farming year to pick up a few upgrades. Enrichments for my accessories giving me 0.3 sea creature chance per applied accessory, snowy achithic gear giving me 0.4 sea creature chance per piece, and the upgrade stars on that gear giving me a bit more fishing speed to make the whole process just a little bit faster. After all of this, I was well over 94 sea creature chance, meaning with the spiked bait, I could get over the 100 limit needed to make Crimson Isle fishing safe for me. And with that, we were finally ready to start fishing. Another big benefit now that we have maxed out farming is that we don't have to keep our inventory full anymore, as Magma pelts no longer matter since the small amount of farming XP they give is already unlocked. So since we're at 100 sea creature chance, we're good to go. We're also about to eat our first Moby Duck. This should give us some bonus fishing wisdom. It's another really solid upgrade that I frankly should have gotten in earlier weeks. I was just being lazy and didn't want to pick one up. There we go. As you can see, 30 fishing wisdom for the next hour. Using some more of the money I had, I bought a few great white-tooth meals in order to upgrade my achithic gear into Finwave. This would also get me on the path to get Gill Splash. The thing that I was missing at this point was fishing speed. It was just slowing down my rates, I was not able to get a good amount of kills per hour, and that meant less XP. If I wanted to max the skill, I would need Gill Splash gear. And I can actually look into getting Gill Splash, I believe. This would be another really big upgrade. The lava shells here are super cheap, and the magma fish are also super cheap to get this, so I might as well do that. I'll probably pick up a few diamond magma fish. Alright, here we go. We have our fin wave. It goes from 12.8 up to 17.6, which is crazy. And we're also going to need a couple more lava shells. They're not too expensive, thankfully. I'll just insta-buy 2 more. And then we'll buy up, or rather get, that other piece of Gill Splash. There we go. Our snowy Gill Splash belt and our cloak. That is going to be big for us. As you can see, our speed went up to 278. And we have 95 base sea creature chance. If you're enjoying Skyblock Skill Locked, make sure to like and subscribe. Use code RAIL on the Hypixel store for 5% off your order, and make sure to stay tuned until the end, as I will be spinning the wheel that decides the next cycle. Now let's get back to Skyblock Skill Locked. The rates definitely feel a lot better than they did the first time I was lava fishing, or even lava fishing last week. I'm able to kill stuff a little bit more efficiently. The kills themselves are not nearly as bad. I'm not dying at all, thank the Lord. And the XP feels pretty good as well. As you can see, like 4,400 XP from one kill. Way better than most mobs I'm going to find on the Bayou or on the Lotus Atoll. The Lotus Atoll might still be a little bit better for me, but I'm going to be here for a little while longer, probably for the rest of my Moby Duck. Main reason why is because I want to try to get the Beastiaries as high as possible for the lava sea creatures. That would be really nice for the magic find later on. And also, I just might as well, since I'm already here and I already have the setup, let's take advantage of it. Aside from a couple more attribute pickups, as well as a Magma Lord fragment drop as a loot share from a Jobus, there wasn't a lot keeping me from hitting the next couple fishing levels. We are about to hit the next level. As you can see, we're at 99.98%, which is crazy. Let's get that off of this pyroclastic worm and try not to die here. And there we go. Fishing 41, 750k coins. Let's keep on going. So apparently earlier, I actually got a diamond loot shared from someone else. This is a trophy fish. Yeah, so as you can see at Odger, I don't have a diamond. But I do. That is ridiculous. I'm definitely going to hold on to that. That is going in the storage and will be there for the rest of the profile's lifespan. That is crazy on the skill locked. So I guess to clarify, this guy got the diamond obfuscated fish, but I loot shared it off of him. So that is very funny. While I was leveling, I also decided to sell a bunch of my Harvest Feast items in order to pick up 2 items. The Auto Pet Rules 2-pack as well as a Squid Pet. The Auto Pet Rules would allow me to basically set up certain actions that would cause a pet to be automatically activated, and the Squid Pet would give me up to 30 fishing wisdom. The idea here was that I could set up 2 rules that would basically interchange my pets depending on what I was doing. So when I threw my fishing rod, it would summon my Megalodon pet, allowing me to get the fishing speed and sea creature chance, and then when I actually entered combat, it would pull out the Squid Pet. This would slightly lower my damage, but also give me 30 fishing wisdom, which allowed me to level the skill a lot faster. The rest of the night wasn't too productive. We went over to the Lotus Atoll to have a better TPS experience as the servers were less laggy, and then by the time we went back over to the Crimson Isle, I was extremely tired. We ended the evening at 62% of the way through Fishing 41. Let's move on to day number 2. So here we are on day number 2 of yet another skill locked fishing week. We're about 24 hours out from the Taurus Canyon's release. That's going to be a big deal. Not really for us though. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fish on the island, as all of the sea creatures there actually give Helix as a reward, and foraging will become a locked skill again the moment that releases with the new level caps, which I'm really excited for. I think that week is going to be super fun to record and edit and all that. But for now, we are on the Crimson Isle. We're going to try to get as much progress done today as possible. Once again, the goal is getting to Magma Lord. If we're able to do so early on in the week, it changes everything, and honestly, we could even make a push to try to max out the skill. I think our damage is going to go up a ton, our fishing speed is going to go up a ton. It will just be a whole lot better, especially if we can make it all the way to fishing 47, and that's because of the Flaming Flay, which you get at that point, and I'd be easily able to upgrade to it. And again, that should improve one of my biggest problems, which at this point is the damage. I also decided to upgrade my profile reviewer here. As you can see, this one is a whole lot better and actually has an accurate net worth. As you can see, that is a 1.6 bill net worth almost on the account, and probably will be over that amount by the time we're done with this week. I feel like we've made amazing progress so far on the Skill Locked profile, and I think by the time we're done, we'll be closer to a 5 bill net worth, which is crazy. And with one more lava sea creature, I think we should be hitting that next fishing level. That'll be fishing 42, which is really good progress so far. It's still early in the morning and I have a ton of time. As you can see, we also get dark green level, which is crazy on the warning emblem there. That is sick. Let's move on to fishing 43. Normally, in order to unlock Jobuses as well as Thunders, a player would go for all of the trophy fish up to silver rarity. However, I'm unable to do this due to the red sand problem. In order to get trophy fish, you need to have less than 100 sea creature chance, and I can't do that without risking any mining XP. So, I won't be able to fish up any Thunders or Jobuses throughout the entire rest of this Skyblock year, and probably for the rest of this profile's lifespan. It is a major loss in terms of loot and XP, but it's how the challenge must work. After that sad realization, I decided to trade in my farming abacase for a fishing one. This would give me a little bit more wisdom, making the process of leveling just a bit faster. We also got quite a few levels on the Crimson Isle. We went through fishing 43 and 44. I decided to go back over to the Lotus Atoll to fish over there for a while, and I ended up getting a Wiki Tiki, although I did not get any special drops. And before I knew it, I was on the cusp of fishing 45. Alright, we are now extremely close to the big one. This is fishing 45 on the way, and it has taken So long to get here. We technically unlock Lord Jabba's, but actually we don't because we can't ever really get him unless we got a mining week. But at the very least, Fishing 45 is here, and that means it's time to spend quite a bit of money. Alright, and here we go. We have started to selling quite a bit of stuff, and this should get me a lot of money. I don't know the exact amount, but at least another like 70, 80 mil, and that should be good enough to start out. And I figure you guys would want the dopamine from all of this. This is a ton of crops that we are able to sell for a lot of money, bringing us to 115 mil in the purse. And don't worry, that will all get spent shortly. After pulling out the money from our bank and also selling our Harvest Feast drops, we had well over 150 million coins in our purse that we were able to spend on Magma Lord armor. It was extremely expensive, I've gotta say. I think altogether the total cost was 240 mil, and I had to sell some additional stuff in order to make this set possible, but we did end up picking up the 4 main pieces of Magma Lord armor, as well as the necklace. With our purchasing now done, we are basically flat broke. As you can see, we still have a lot of money that's going to be coming in, though, in the near future from everything else that's going to be selling on the bazaar. But let's put on the new gear and see where we're at. Yeah, 100.86. That's so good. That is just incredible. 100%. That's amazing, actually. This means that when I go to the Crimson Isle now, now, hold on. I want to make sure that I want to verify that this is correct. Yeah, 326 fishing speed and 100 sea creature chance. Wow. That means I can use fish bait and I can insta-fish. You guys have no idea. I've been fishing with such terrible rates for so long, and now I can just do it. And the damage went up a lot, too. I'm up to 120k damage. I'll take that any day of the week. Oh my gosh. We're so back. This feels amazing. Oh yeah, my favorite part about this set is that we can actually swim now in the Crimson Isle lava without issue. It makes the process of fishing here just even faster. We're in such a good state. I think I'm gonna wrap up for the night because again, I've been fishing since like 8 a.m. and it's now 11:45 at night. I thought originally I would stay up for this other fishing festival, but I just don't have the patience for that, and there's also going to be a major update tomorrow, so you're going to have to forgive me. 45 fishing, though, that feels just so good. That was my goal for the week, and it's only day 2, and we've hit it, man. The whole world has opened up for us. I'm so excited. I'll see you tomorrow. Welcome to Skill Locked Fishing Week, day number 3, and as you can see by this different style of tree in the Moonglade Marsh, this means that the Taurus Canyon is now out. Now, I don't know how much on the Taurus Canyon I'll actually be able to do. So we're going to go over to the Taurus Canyon, try to figure it out. You're going to have to bear with me a little bit here. I'm going to try to fish up one mob. It shouldn't actually give me any foraging XP. If it does, we will stop immediately. You know, I won't, break the challenge rules or anything like that. 7229 280. We'll have to kill another. One moment. And now we're at 7229 280. Okay, so we're in no threat on that alone. The only threat I think we have is in the foraging collection. As part of the Helix Claw collection, if we get all the way up here to 250,000, we get 150k foraging XP, but everything else should be fine. So I can actually do a little bit of fishing here on the island, which is actually really nice. I was hoping that I would be able to. And we'll be able to level up the Ruby Veil Shroom collection at the very least, so let's get fishing. To condense down my time on the Taurus Canyon, I had a lot of fun. I was able to go really far in terms of fishing here. I was not gaining a lot of Helix, so I was able to stay on the island for quite a while. I was leveling up Miria's contests, which I could save for a future foraging week, and I even got some rare mobs and rare drops. I got the Water Hyacinth as well as the Sublime Silk a few times, and I got quite a few isopod spawns, which were really fun to look at. I had a blast, and after a while, we were approaching the final milestone for the Helix collection, so that was my cue to slow down a little bit. And there's Helix Log Milestone 8. I think with that, we are going to leave the island. We're about at 40% to the tier 9, and I just don't want to hit it We've also not made a ton more progress in terms of XP. The island is significantly slower than the Crimson Isle, even if it is faster than some other places. We also have gotten a lot of Miria's contests done, as you can see. Actually, I have 7 done. Wow, okay. So 7 done, with this being my 8th. That is really nice. I think I'll come over here every once in a while and get another contest on the board and try to get as many as possible. But I won't actively grind out all of the Helix logs remaining. I have to use this kind of sparingly. Still, though, very nice. So back to the Crimson Isle we go. This will be our home for quite a while, and I'm hoping to make a lot more progress tonight. I also want to buy up a few swarm books. The reason why is I want to put this on my soul whip. This is a very solid ultimate enchant that I believe I have access to, and in fact, yes, I do. There we go, Swarm 3. That should increase my damage very considerably on these guys. And we are now extremely close to yet another level. 99.96% of the way there, and with this fire eel, we should get it. And there we go, fishing 46. We are 1 away from 47. That gives us access to Ragnarok, as well as the Flaming Flay. Before moving on to day number 4, I do have to talk about the fishing festival that I did participate in during this time. I did not get any crazy good drops, nor did I get really anything special, just a couple of Megalodon pets as well as some great white shark teeth. I didn't really have the best luck during this festival, so let's move on to day number 4. Good morning and welcome back to day number 4 of Skill Locked. We're here just after the end of a fishing festival. I was around for a little bit of it, but all I got was this epic Megalodon pet, so nothing too crazy. We're here on the Taurus Canyon. We're gonna just get an uncommon contest completion, and then we're going to go back over to the Crimson Isle, and I'm going to kind of do that in the background throughout the day, just go back and forth to get these contests saved up, so that way, whenever we get a foraging week, I have a great head start, a ton of XP, as well as a ton of Heart of the Forest XP. It'll be really solid. Just had a pretty good session overall with the experimentation table. We got a couple Titanic XP bottles, and we got another level. We're up to Enchanting 39. Genuinely could not be a fishing week on the Crimson Isle without the TPS falling to near 0, bro. What is going on? Just loot shared another Magma Lord fragment from that Jawbus. That feels really, really nice. And then also we got some Jawbus shards here that we could sell if we wanted to, but they are super cheap because now they are a guaranteed drop. Alright, and if we come over to upgrade the item, we can put in our Magma Lord leggings, and it will cost a fragment and 80 Crimson Essence. But as you can see, that does boost up our stats pretty significantly, so I am going to take that upgrade. That feels very nice. We get some more strength, a little bit more sea creature chance. That is what we need. We are getting extremely close to a very major fishing level. We're at 99.97. So let's go try to get that real quick. There's a Jawbus there. I have to be kind of careful. Hold on, let me kill my Magma Slug in peace so I can get this level real quick, bro. Hold on. There we go. Awesome. With Fishing 47 now unlocked, I was able to sell my Soul Whip for around 25-ish million coins and buy a Flaming Flay. This is a huge upgrade. It's hard to understand it. You deal triple damage to sea creatures. You get health back whenever you hit sea creatures. And it has a ton of built-in damage, strength, and ferocity. It is an incredibly strong item that costs well over 100 million coins, but it is worth the expense. Alright, so here we are with the damage test. I'm hoping for at least 200k damage. That would be incredible. And we're getting a lot more than that. 300k. Okay. That is so much better. It will make the process of actually killing these mobs way better for me. That's awesome. Yeah, I one-shot pretty much everything at a low level. That's great, man. Oh, that's such an upgrade. I really needed this. All right. There we go. Fishing 48. That is a big milestone. 2 levels to go. 3.7 mil and then 4 mil XP. So we're up to... what, only 7 mil XP left? I feel like I'm getting close to 12 mil XP a day, or maybe even more than that. So I am really happy with that progress. Let's keep on going. Right around this time, another fishing festival began, and I decided to do it because I wanted to fund my Moby Duck addiction, and frankly, it was good to level up a bunch of the Beastiaries, but in terms of drops, we went super dry. We got basically nothing from this festival. I think I got maybe 2 Megalodon pets and maybe 2 or 3 great white shark teeth. Not a very profitable endeavor for me, but at least I was able to buy 1 or 2 more Moby Ducks with the money. So the festival is now over. We only got one other item, and that was a single other great white shark tooth. We'll probably try to sell that over the rest of the day. We're going to be fishing for a little while longer tonight. It's already 7 o'clock, and I've been fishing since probably around 8 in the morning. Probably won't go that long. I've put myself in such a solid position, I don't want to overwork myself and then feel really, really tired tomorrow or whatever. I've been really trying to work hard on this series for you guys. I hope you guys have been enjoying it. But definitely a crazy experience, and I'm so glad fishing is almost done. We can get in some really good weeks. It took me this long to realize my flaming flight didn't have pyroclasm on it. That is crazy. That's a 60% additive damage increase that we get now. Fine, all things considered. That's crazy, though, that I didn't have pyroclasm. Make sure you put that on your flaming flays or your soul whips if you are going to be fishing in the Crimson Isle. That is a big deal. That is a significant damage increase. So before, I felt like we were doing around 300k damage in total, and now, yeah, we're closer to 400k, or at least 350. That is a big damage upgrade, I've got to say. That is really solid. Have been here for quite a while longer. As you can see, we're at 99% of the way through the level. Only one more to go after this one. That is just crazy to say. I'm really impressed with just how much I've grinded out the last few weeks for this profile. There is fishing 49. It's in sight, ladies and gents. It's in sight. That is level 50, and we are now making progress on that goal on a profile that is still at 0 mining, can you believe? Oh, but still, crazy progress. Let's get that level 50. Also want to finally upgrade my AOTE. I've been using this thing throughout the entire series, and I frankly never bothered to actually give it the bonus block teleportation, as well as an Ultimate Wise 5 book. There we go. That is significantly better, and now has a reduced mana cost, which is way nicer to see. By this point, I was so far ahead of my goals that I decided to call it in for an early night and come back well rested for day number 5. And welcome to Skill Locked Fishing Week, day number 5. And as you can see, we have built up a lot of contest rewards in Miria for whenever we get a foraging week. We're going to go grab another, and then we're going to head over to the Crimson Isle. We only have 1 level to go in fishing. Let's get it done. We've also made a ton of progress on a lot of the Beastiaries on the Taurus Canyon. As you can see, many of the fishing ones were already at either tier 11, 12, or 13, even at tier 9 on the Taurids. Definitely really nice to get this progress, and there's so much more that we could do here. If we get a combat week, there's a lot of stuff we could do. Really anything, even if we get a foraging week, because many of these mobs only give hunting XP, and hunting still really isn't in a state to get it on the wheel. You can't control XP gains, the rates are really bad, but aside from that, though, we're in a great state, and all of that Beastiary progress is going to translate into a ton of combat XP whenever we get our next combat week. I think it's already going to be well over 10 million combat experience, which is great. That's going to push us well into the 30s, I think. Just a huge amount of progress. I'm fishing over here in the Flag Blast pool, as there are a bunch of other people already here, and I actually got another Magma Lord fragment, which is really nice. I think I'm going to use this to upgrade yet another piece. I could probably improve the boots a little bit, but still, that is a cool upgrade I can get now. The big benefit from upgrading the Magma Lord set like this is getting the bonus Sea Creature chance as well as the bonus strength. We just got a bunch of glowstone dust, which gave us the enchanted glowstone dust recipe and also a level up. And this is from the Fireproof Witches, I believe. There is no worry about mining XP in that collection, though, and as you can see, we're totally fine. Still a funny thing to level up. I've also gotten so much gold from my time on the atolls specifically that if you look at my collections, as you can see, I'm very close to fully maxing out the gold ingot collection without ever actually getting any mining XP. Just really goofy stuff altogether. And because of all the Thunder loot share that I've been getting, I'm actually at level 9 for the Thunder attribute. This allows me to fill up my Thunder bottles up to 10% faster when it's maxed. We're getting a lot of the attribute shards, as you can see, 7 more to fully max it out. We'll likely get that by the time we hit 50. And with that Thunder loot share, I am able to fully max out the Thunder Speed Shard. That is yet another one we have maxed, one of the first from the new update that we have maxed. That feels pretty dang good. So currently we're about 72% of the way through the fishing level. And as you can see, I think once we hit the level 50 for fishing, we're pretty much halfway through the series. We have one more episode to do when it comes to foraging. I think it'll only take one episode to fully max it out. Combat will probably take a couple episodes, all things considered, although all of the Beastiary improvements and changes and mobs that we can hunt is going to give us a lot of combat XP to go for. In terms of mining, I think when we get the skill, we'll unlock a lot of levels really, really fast, especially if we get lucky with a coal, which that would be incredible. Overall, though, I'm really happy with how Skill Locked has done so far, and getting another skill close to maxed already is just so nice. It feels incredible to go back to back, Skyblock years, maxing out these skills. And now we've gotten Expertise 9 on our Hellfire Rod. That is pretty crazy. Should give us a little bit more wisdom as we approach the final level here. There's another Beastiary I believe I maxed out. Yeah, there's Lava Flame. We've done pretty good on the Crimson Isle fishing Beastiaries, as you can see here. Lava Leeches, Pyroclastic Worms, Mugmas, Magma Slugs, and Lava Flames all done. Tauruses and Fire Eels not far behind. So we are now getting very, very close to level 50 fishing. We're at 99.7, and we're just going to keep on going until we get it. I was just thinking about the fact that this is the first time around, when it comes to spinning the wheel and maxing out a skill, that I actually am not that interested in getting mining, of all things. It sounds crazy, but I'm really not. I think a fishing week, or rather a foraging week next week, would be really, really fun. It'd be super enjoyable. And a combat week would also be great because of all the Beastiary changes. I'd be able to make a ton of progress. Mining week doesn't even sound that special at the moment, but with one more cast of the rod, this should be all we need. It's actually going to be a double hook lava flame. There we go. Fishing 50 unlocked. That is another maxed skill. That feels so, so good to see that gold in the skills menu. Man, that feels nice. We also get 1,000,000 coins out of that. I am done with fishing. That was a nightmare. That sucked. The whole process was just rough the whole way through. I still don't have Jobuses. I still don't have Thunders. I never will have them. At least unless I go back, and maybe after a mining week and I get that red sand, I can go back and I can get the trophy hunter stuff. But man, oh man, it feels good. With fishing now maxed, I don't think I'm going to go back and do a lot more of it for the rest of the Skyblock year. I'm pretty happy with everything that we accomplished this week. Went from 40 to 50, spent a ton of money on a really good Magma Lord set. We got the Magma Lord necklace, we got the full Gill Splash, and on top of that, we got a ton of upgrades for our accessory bag, including a bunch of sea creature chants, which is great to see. I'm just excited to see what we get next. We also spent a ton of money on this Flaming Flay, which completely changed the experience. This is amazing. And I don't even know how many Moby Ducks we bought. We probably got like 9 of them or 10 of them. That's at least 50,000,000 coins that we spent throughout the week for these things. And to give a quick little playtime update, we're up to a total of 314 hours. And as you can see, 2.7 of those hours are on the new Canyon Island. About 16 of them are on the Atoll. 31 of them are on the Crimson Isle. And another 62 of them are on the Bayou. So now it's the time we've all been waiting for. Let's spin the wheel that decides our fate. And here we are in front of the wheel, yet again. We are going to shuffle a few times. There is foraging, combat, and mining on the wheel. We won't have hunting on the wheel. Currently, hunting is not in a state where it works for this. So here we go with the wheel. Let's see what we get here. And the answer, finally, is not mining, it's foraging, baby! I honestly cannot make this up. That is crazy. It's so close to mining. I thought it was about to happen. But there we go. We will have foraging next time out. And frankly, it's good timing given the update. Thanks for watching another episode of Skyblock Skill Locked. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. Use code RAIL on the Hypixel store for 5% off your order. And I'll see you next time on Skyblock Skill Locked.